And from the Department of Labor, we'll bring on the director. Yes, David Dell'Isola. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning. How you doing?
Ooh, we're
Ooh.
doing great.
Doing
Wide awake now.
Yeah. Wow, Dave. I don't even know where to start, but
Yeah.
I had to do a double take when we got the release.
Mm-hmm.
That there's just so much fraud going down.
You weren't kidding. I mean, last week you said that a little over half of the new apps that were coming in involved fraud, and here we are today. By the end, I think just a couple days later, that release came out that checks payments were stopped.
Well, just so that you kind of picture it, I don't know if you can see my phone.
It's red.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
So this is one day. This is the day of July 12th. Everything that you see in red is fraud.
Wow.
That's the whole day, 24 hours.
Did we set a record? What's the record on fraud in a day?
No, believe me, we're nowhere near what they are in the States.
Wow.
All I can say is that, we're blessed in certain respects that we're small enough that I have a crew of people that are just going every day and hitting the claims individually and putting holds on them. But it's slowing down the process.
Right.
And in the States, it's slowed it down tremendously. I mean, it's taking weeks for them to come up with a payment where, like I said, they keep getting more and more sophisticated. They keep zeroing in and making it harder to tell a fraud claim from a good local claim or a good claim. And it's just taking more and more time. But, we're handling it. We're keeping it. The reason why I keep hitting it is that this was a little unforeseen, and it's slowing me down.
Right.
And the people are asking, of course they want their money as quickly as possible. And this is taking a lot more resources away from handling problem claims, from getting regular claims in, from answering our phones. So I've had to pull people, and all the other teams have shrunk a little bit to handle this, so
Dave,
that we can keep the process going.
Right, Dave.
So
when you talk about how the discovery of this massive amount of fraud has pretty much stopped unemployment payments from being processed, can you tell us how and why? So when we discover this amount of fraud, what happens with you and redirecting the staff, just so people can kind of understand, oh, that's why we're not getting it processed right now?
Well, first, the good news is that tomorrow or tonight we're batching a new amount of payments. Okay. And this is all clean claims up to July 11th. So it's going to be a double batch. Although we might have missed last week's, it's moving forward. We've cleaned it, and it's moving forward till to tomorrow, and we've added additional days to the 11th. So hopefully by Friday, all these payments will be going out, and we probably got about 7,000 new claims in there. So we are hitting it. We're hitting it hard. We're getting a lot of people paid. A total of, like I think last time I talked to you, we have close to 29,000 people are going to be paid. Claims are going to be paid with this batch, including this batch included, and that's quite a phenomenal feat. And I'm very impressed with the team. And I know there's people still out there that are having a hard time getting through. But the volume of people that we're handling is outstanding with the amount of people that we have. And remember, I just can't hire somebody and just throw them in the phones and start handling people. It takes several weeks just to get them to a level where they can answer the phones and understand the problem. And we're moving. I like to be moving faster if it wasn't for this fraud, but it is what it is. We'll have to adjust, and we'll try to keep making payments out every week. It just may not be the amount of days that I'd like. So, instead I would have liked to keep moving the forward every week to 10 days until we get caught up. Now it might be every 3 or 4 days added on, because we just have to keep doing our due diligence and keeping after it. And because like I said, I want all the money to stay to the people on Guam.
Dave, with that, Matt, that when you showed us your phone and it was all red, that's a crazy amount of apps. So what in the training, what does your staff train to kind of look out for that enables them to catch this fraud as it happens?
If I tell you what they look out for, then those fraud guys are going to adjust and hit it. But
okay.
Guam being Guam and being unique, that helps us in certain respects. And then the number of claims, we're averaging about anywhere from 200 to 600 claims coming in a day, depending. So it's not an outrageous number for us to just look and we have our fraud measures that are in the system, and we've added some more that are going to be coming in online, and those additional measures are from measures that our vendor, with the experience having 7-8 states that they do PUA, that they've developed, and they're putting it into our system too. So all those measures just help us cut down and catch the claims and put holds on them, so that all we need to do is look at the ones that have gone through and try to select the ones that, this one was didn't get caught, and we put holds on each of those. And like I said, we're tackling it. It's slowing us down, but we're still moving forward. We're still getting the money out there. This next batch should be a large payment batch. I'll know tomorrow, if everything processes and batch well, exactly how much that's going to be, because remember, it's Sunday in the States. So Monday morning when the vendor comes in, they will begin the batch processing up to include the 11th of July. And then everybody who's gotten paid from beginning of June will get their weeklies along with the new claimants, and we'll have that batched up and hopefully hitting the banks by Friday.
I wanted to follow up on something that you mentioned. So we've seen this surge of criminal activity, of people trying to defraud the unemployment program, but you also said that you're also looking into some that have gone through and have been paid. How many cases are there of those that did go through that you guys are reviewing and investigating?
It's not a huge number, but it is a number, and those aren't all necessarily fraud. They could be for various reasons, and that's why I keep letting everybody know as they learn about all the fraud that's going on. Some people are calling us and wanting to make adjustments to their claims. Like I said, they forgot to put in income, so they want to put in the income. Some have gotten the PPP and they backdated it, and now they need to make adjustments. Some are, like I said, coming forward and just saying, I just want to withdraw my claim.
Right.
For
Dave, so with these people, when they call you and they have those issues with an app that's already been submitted, what is the remedy for that? Or do they all just get kind of lumped into the fraud category, for lack of a better term?
No, not necessarily. If they're coming forward, I'm not out to hang people.
Yeah.
I'm out to pay people. And if somebody comes forward before I catch them and says, I forgot this extra job I had, or I forgot this extra income, we'll fix it and continue them on. Like I said, I'm not, I'm stressing fraud, because if you had fraud intentions, then don't do it, because it slows me down.
Right.
It doesn't help us. And you might get paid, you might not get paid, but we will circle around. And if you did get paid, that's where the overpayments come in. And and the overpayments can also come in because some people, of course, aren't happy because they were found ineligible, and they're angry with me or they're angry with DOL when it has nothing to do with me. I'm just enforcing the rules that are given to me. And the eligibility rules clearly state that your layoff or reduced hours have to be because of COVID.
Right.
And some people are upset because they took voluntary separations. Then that's not, you weren't laid off or reduced. You were voluntarily took it.
Right. Dave.
And that's something that makes you ineligible, and it's not my decision.
So we have all this fraud. When we talked with FBI Special Agent Anderson on the show, he had mentioned sophisticated criminal rings, whether it's, you know, the triads or the anonymous hackers or whatever it is. But what about locally? Are we seeing some cases of, you know, local fraud?
Well, we are in the small scale. We have noticed, though, I will tell you, of some identity theft. I'm sure you all heard about the Experian and the Equifax breaches and all that stuff of personal information. So we do have some where they use the local guy's name, the local address, their phone numbers, and put in claims for them with, you know, those are very hard to catch. But sometimes, you know, those breaches are 3 or 4 years old, so their phone numbers have changed, or their addresses have changed, or something, you know, quirky about it, and we've been able to catch them. But we do have some, not a large scale, identity theft fraud, and then you have your typical local ones where people are just trying to put in multiple claims or put in claims that, you know, were unemployed, but they are saying that they were unemployed because of COVID. So they're basically lying and putting in a valid claim. And, you know, they're small in number compared to the organized frauds that are coming in, but we do see them, and we do catching them. And, you know,
and when you do,
I just want to stress to the people that if you are honest and you're putting in a claim, and if there is honest mistakes, don't worry about it. We'll collect it, we'll correct it, we'll fix it for you. And there's, like I said, I'm not out to hang anybody. I'm just out to run a clean program.
So, Dave, when you get those local instances of fraud, at what point does Department of Labor have to forward that information to, like, federal authorities? Or?
Well, right now we're just collecting. We're putting holds on them. You know, if they've been paid, we've been putting overpayment things on it where they're going to have to pay it back, and then you know. My best advice to them is pay it back, zero it out, because I personally feel that the OIG is not going to go after fraud attempts and you paid it back. They're going to go after the ones who have taken 10,000, 15,000 to 13, and they don't want to pay it back. Then they have to go after those collections. But, you know, right now, I'm concentrating on holding them down, cleaning them, and getting people paid. And those fraud claims are being circled around. They're putting issues on them. We're holding them up. And so the good thing is, if I accidentally put a hold on you, you're probably going to call me up and yell and scream at me. If you're a fraud and I put a hold on you, most likely you're not going to call me and ask me to correct it, or yell and scream at me to fix it. So there will be some people that get caught in the net accidentally, but that just happens when you're dealing with the numbers that I'm dealing with, and we're doing the best we can. And remember, we're only 4 months into this program, and, you know, the expertise is only 2 months in. So, you know, my people are working hard, very hard, and dedicated to try to get people help. And we'll just keep doing that.
Well, this might be a dumb question, but I'm just gonna ask it anyway. Have you seen any business owners that have tried to get unemployment insurance?
Can you say that again?
Have you seen any business owners who have tried to get a pandemic unemployment assistance or the FPUC?
Business owners are eligible, like everybody else. Just because you own a business didn't mean you didn't get shut down and didn't have any income. A lot of business owners are applying. A lot of
What
my
if they
friends
received
applied. Everybody's
PPP
applied because
or EIDL? Can they
closed
still
down.
apply?
Yeah, Dave, if you could just walk it through. As a business owner, if I'm a business owner, what are the limitations that would prevent me from filing a clean claim? For example, if I had got the PPP or the EIDL or...
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is that if you got the PPP, it depends on how you use it, though. I mean, some business owners only took it and paid their employees, and they didn't take it themselves. An owner is no different than an employee. You're an employee of the business. If you draw a check, then you have to claim those income. And if you didn't and you paid everybody else, then you're just as affected as everybody else. And like I said, just because you're an owner doesn't mean that you lost income, your business is not tanking, and you're affected. I mean, just look at the business closures that are happening. The business owners are the biggest hit because they have a huge investment in that business, and they've been closed for months. My heart hurts for those people because, when they go down, they take down all their employees with them. And so the last thing you want to see is a business owner going down. So, this program helps them just as much as everybody else. But what you got to be careful if you're a business owner is adding extra employees in that aren't employees as a business owner. And those are the ones that, like the fraud hotlines that we get employees calling up and saying, Lana de this Chatma of the business owners added into the to the payroll. That's not fair, or to that effect.
So just for clarification, business owners are eligible for PUA and FPUC.
Of course,
Okay.
of course. Like I said, just because you're a business owner doesn't mean you're not an employee of the business.
Right.
The same rules apply to everybody. Right.
But let's say I'm a business owner and I pay myself a salary that is under the eligibility for the PUA and the FPUC, but then my net worth is whatever $5 gajillion. Would that kind of exempt me from being able to apply, or does it just strictly look at the income?
Strictly look at the income.
I see. So that would be, if people would know of someone who owned a business applying, maybe they don't have the full set of facts.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. And like I said, just because you happen to be you're a successful business owner, and like I said, I've had a lot of friends who are very good business owners, but all their businesses closed down, and they're making zero income. Just because you're a successful business owner and you're making zero income, the rules apply to you as with every other employee. If you just, in the weekly, you just claim all your income. If it's zero, it's zero. And, like I said, a lot of these business people, you think of them as the bad guy, but they've really used up all their money to pay their employees to keep them surviving because, they plan to open. And, they want to keep the staff that they have. So they're doing everything they can to try to keep them around and keep them surviving, because when they open, they want to open with their existing staff. So, they're actually the unsung heroes of this PUA program, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them are sacrificing, taking money out of their own pockets and trying to help employees put food on the table. They helped employees apply for PUA, and and they used their resources, their computers, and they helped them understand to get on. So like I said, a lot of them are the unsung heroes. They're trying to keep their staff are their family, believe it or not. And it looks like the KUAM staff, you guys just aren't regular considered employees. I'm sure you guys are a tight unit. And if you guys close down, I'm sure your company would help you and to do everything that they can to keep you around so that when they reopen, then you guys are there to open up.
Except
with them.
Jason.
And that's what happened with a lot of people around here.
Right.
Right on, Dave.
Can you just real quickly before I'll let you go, an update on the standing up this appeals division and overpayment division? Did you already talk about that?
We're moving quickly with that. You got to remember that the appeals division is something totally new for us. Whenever we had a disaster, Hawaii always handled the appeals for us. We never had to do it on our own. And because of course, the pandemic doing nationwide, we were stuck having to create it, stand it up, and write it up, and get it started. So we've put it together, and it's with USDOL to give us its blessing that it meets the standards. And once we get that blessing, the whole process, how to do it, each step will be released. And so be a little patient for those who have been either disqualified or have received overpayments. And you will have your chance to get reconsidered or appealed.
Dave, what
and
about
we're just waiting for you to approve it.
We had got a comment here. What about cases of fraud where businesses are issuing fake letters of acceptance to try and prove an applicant was supposed to start a job when they didn't? Are you getting any examples of that, or is that an example of some of the fraud you're seeing?
Yes. Our biggest way to catch local fraud is not us finding it, is people reporting it. And just go to the fraud hotline and email us with a brief statement of what's going on, because like I said, yes, we know people saying that either we've caught them and we're adjusting them, and then they come out and say, well, if I got caught, then how about my employee that works with me, he's just as guilty as me. And or they see or hear somebody bragging and they're reporting it to us. So, it's not rampant. I'm not going to make it sound like it happens a lot, but it does happen. The old crab in the bucket where people try to crawl over each other's backs to try to get out, and one drags one down. So it's happening, and but I'm sure you can appreciate it, even though you might not like it. It's private. We treat it with and we can't report out. I can talk about it, but I can't tell you individual claims or anything like that. All I can say is if you hear of fraud and you know of it, then please report it.
Again, you have those numbers, Dave, or the email that they can call to report?
PUA fraud at dol.guam.gov. And as you know, I'm sure we've closed down GCC, and we're out at the Agate, Dedido, and Jotnia libraries. So we're taking appointments, and we're working those Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. So call the 311 hotline. You can make an appointment there, or the 988-3672, 689-1872, or 788-0729. And we're handling problem claims and new claims. And I know people are having a hard time getting through. And some of the reasons is because we're trying to fix claims in some of the phone calls, along with handling and writing down the problems. So those take a little bit longer. And because that takes a little bit longer, believe me, my people are nonstop picking up the phones. And some of the people have to shift over to the fraud in order to make sure that they're clean. So I've lost a few people in some of those areas that would normally handle the problem claims. And so it slows it down. us paying, but we will continue the payments. We will keep moving forward. This batch, I'm hoping, will be a large number, because we're looking at about 7,000 new claims inside that batch. And, you know, like I said, we're up to about 29,000 claims being paid. That's a pretty big number.
Yeah.
And, of course, if you're one of those couple thousand that's not being paid, that's not a very good number. And so I'll just keep hitting it. We'll keep taking care of it. My people take care of 400 or 500 a day of the problems. And of course, every time there's a batch, more problems hit from people not being able to put in the correct banking information, mailing information. Please, those people that are putting in claims, make sure your banking information is correct and your mailing address is correct, and it's in the mailing address, not the residential side. Please make sure that it is put in, because those are where you're going to get your checks or get your direct deposits.
All right, Dave.
Thanks a lot, Dave.
Thank you so much for your time, Dave. Appreciate it.
Time, Sabrina.
All right,
And
take
Chris,
care.
I appreciate your time.
All
to
right. Keep us
stay
posted.
safe.
Okay. Good luck with that batch.
Thank you.
Wash your hands. Dave Dell'Isola will take a short break and come back, do a little crime roundup with the Guam Police Department Sergeant Paul Tapau next, right here on The Link on the Breeze 93.9.